Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. This is the second in the series of Katana Live Fridays, but the eagle eye among you might have noticed that this isn't live. Now, I promised last week that we'd be doing this every single week at 5 PM BST or GMT every single Friday, but unfortunately I'm away this Friday, so I recorded this yesterday, but I still wanted to release it on Friday at the usual time, just so everyone gets used to that time. So what we're going to do today is to have a look at a blues tone. Now, the Katana is a really versatile amp. Last week's video, we looked at just setting up a really versatile tone. So we've got like a nice clean tone that by switching on the booster, we can turn it into a drive tone and then use the Katana as basically a one-stop shop. You can take it out with that patch, go out live and just use that patch. Now, what we're going to be doing in the future videos is to look at sort of specialist tone packages. And what I mean by specialist is sort of specific tones. So rock tones, clean tones, blues tones, that sort of stuff. Now, as I said, today's video is going to be all about blues tones. Just in case you guys didn't know, we do Katana preset packs. So if you want to go and check out some of our Katana preset packs, you can do. They're on the website, which is thestudiorats.net, and you need to go to the downloads page. At the moment, I've set everything to about 12 o'clock, which is about 50 on the Katana, and it sounds like this, which is a pretty uninspiring tone. You might have noticed from any previous videos that we've done with the Katana that I like to use the clean sound on the Katana and then use the drive pedals as my drive stage. Now, that's exactly what we're going to do today, but we're going to turn on the variation button, as for me it really works with this sort of tone. First of all, let's turn the gain up to about 80. Just bring the volume back just a little bit as well to about 50. Now, the Katana for me has got a really varied EQ, but it does end up quite bass heavy. So I'm going to bring the bass back to about 30. Bring back the mid just a little bit and turn up the treble as we want a bit more clarity out of it. And it sounds like this. Now, lastly on this, I'm just going to bring the presence up just to give it a little bit more sparkle on the top end. Now, the presence control makes a massive difference. So if you've got a guitar with, say, single coil, something like a Telecaster or a Strat, you can really dial in the amount of high end or control the amount of high end using the presence control. Just to make the sound a little bit more inspiring, we're just going to go straight over to the reverb page. And I'm going to choose a room reverb for this. What I don't want to do with this sound is to create any sort of artificial or fake sounding effects with it. We want to try and keep it like a traditional amp in a room or using a spring reverb, so we get our ambience in a more natural way. Right, let's turn the reverb on. Now, I'd like a little bit more reverb from this, so let's bring it up to about 2 seconds. I'm going to leave the pre-delay where it is and I'm going to bring up the low cut to about 400 Hertz. Now, as I said, we want to try and keep this natural, so I'm going to bring back the high cut as well. And let's bring that back to about 3K. The effects level I'm going to keep on 66 and the direct mix I'm going to keep on 100. So we've got our basic tone. So there's our basic tone, but what I want to do is to bring in the booster, and on this sort of sound I'm going to be using the treble booster. Sounds like this. So the treble booster is boosting the high end frequencies that's going into the front of the amp. We don't need anywhere near this amount of drive, so I'm going to bring the drive right back to about 16. I'm going to bring the tone up a little bit just to get a little bit more top end. Let's bring the bottom back a little bit. The effects level, let's boost that up just a little bit, so I want to match the volume when this effect is turned on or off. I'm not going to worry about the solo switch or the solo level. I'm just going to keep that exactly where it is. And the direct mix, because we don't want any clean signal coming through, I'm going to leave that at 0. Right, next I'm going to go over to the mod slot. Now, I'm going to use a compressor again on this. Traditionally, you wouldn't really use a compressor with a blues sort of tone. But the thing about the Katana and the way that I like to use the compressor inside the Katana is to make it react more like a driven valve amp. A valve amp, when you drive it hard, is going to add a little bit of natural compression to your guitar tone. So that's what we're going to be doing with using the compressor here. So let's bring in the mods and let's switch in the compressor. We're going to keep it on the light setting, and I'm going to bring the sustain up just to about 30. Right, let's bring the attack up just a little bit, as I don't want it so grabby. I'm going to bring the tone up just a smidge. That really works for me as an overdriven sort of blues tone. But what I want to do as well is to add just a little bit more ambience, and I'm going to use a delay for that. So let's click on the delay slot and let's switch it in. Again, what we want to try and do with this is to use some natural vintage sort of sounding delay. So let's switch it down to the tape echo. And I want to make this like a slap delay. So I'm going to bring back the time to about 120 milliseconds. I'm going to leave the feedback where it is and just bring the high cut back, as I don't want the delays to be interfering with the guitar signal. I want the delays to be a lot duller than what I'm playing. And let's turn up the effects level. So there you have it. I'm pretty happy with that. But if you've got like single coil sounding guitars, what you might want to try and do is to just reduce the treble a little bit if you're finding your sound a little bit too harsh. And as I said earlier, you can also decrease the presence as well, just to tame those high frequencies. Just in case you guys didn't know, we do Katana preset packs. So if you want to go and check out some of our Katana preset packs, you can do. They're on the website, which is thestudiorats.net, and you need to go to the downloads page. Anyway, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. I really hope you guys got something out of this. If you did get something out of it, perhaps you consider liking and subscribing, clicking on the bell button, and you'll be notified of any future video that comes out from the Studio Rats. And you can join me next week at 5 o'clock BST, where we'll be continuing with the Katana Tone Fridays. Anyway, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.